welcome to my forever world. We recently built a sunflower windmill so that we could have all of our too tall flowers and our cactus farm have a cozy little bill to host them all. And so far, I think this is a great addition to our little flower forest village. Today, my main goal is to go on a search for some sniffer eggs to add some friends to our flower forest village and make them a cozy sniffer sanctuary. I also want to go caving so that we can upgrade our armor from this combination of gold and iron to some diamonds and get it enchanted in our spruce village so we can go take on the wither. Because for today's episode, where I want to place the sniffer sanctuary actually needs a lot of terraforming, and a beacon would be so nice for that. To give you an idea, I'm thinking that what we'll do is this area right here will be a nice path kind of going up the side of this little mountain here, but I want to have the sniffer sanctuary be right in here, and we'll actually kind of carve into the mountain, and then we'll have some large pitcher plants kind of outside. We'll build some organics, and then we'll just have our little sniffer sanctuary inside the mountain. And I've carved out my fair share of mountains without beacons, and frankly, I can't be bothered. But what I can be bothered to do is see what they got. Efficiency to not exactly what I want. I already have sea pickles. Yeah, I don't need any of this, but I will take the leads if I can just place down a boat. Calmly take your friends. Thank you very much. F3 and B so I don't hit them again. And there we go. No one was harmed in the taking of these leads. This time at least. Now, before we go looking for the sniffer eggs in the warm ocean and crafting up a little brush, I really need to get some gunpowder because I want to make some rockets so we can actually use our wings, because we're going to need to fly our way all the way over to this warm ocean by where we're going to have a coral village to look for some ruins, since this is where you can find sniffer eggs potentially. So we're just going to make a sword and wait for night so that we can get ourselves some gunpowder. But while we're waiting for nightfall, I'm going to quickly run over to our spruce village and we're going to check to see if we do have any gunpowder already there in some of our chests. And I'm glad I checked because we have 18 gunpowder, and I think I had sugarcane. Yes. Okay, perfect. We can make some rockets and we can already go over and look for some sniffer eggs. All right, let's take our first flight around the village. Look at this. Oh, we have flight. We can fly around our spruce village over the wolf sanctuary. Look at this. It's so cool when you're able to see everything from further up. I love it. But let's not waste the rockets since we actually don't have that many. Let's go get a copper bit, and then we can go off adventuring looking for sniffer eggs. And look at our little windmill. It's so cute. And yes, I did say windmill. I know I get a lot of comments of people being like, it's windmill, not windmill. And you know, tomato, everyone says it differently. If I keep saying windmill, you can keep commenting, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to change how I just say it. But I do see your comments on the fact that I say windmill. And I'm sorry if it bothers some people, but you know, tomato, potato, we're just gonna roll with it. So with our brush made and it being night, we quickly grabbed some more gunpowder, spotted a buried ship that we looted but didn't have much, so we continued towards the warm ocean. All right, we are by the warm ocean. We can go looking for some sniffer eggs, but I did notice there's some exposed mine shafts where we can get some potential goodies. Ooh, diamond, let's go. I was actually hoping I would find diamonds today, so this is actually great. All right, I haven't found another chest yet, but look at this little guy I found. It's a little armadillo. I think these guys are so cute. I actually am excited to work in the Badlands eventually for one of our villages because these guys are just so adorable. I love them so much, but let's keep doing a little look through. See if we can find any more chests. Follow any staircases. See if anything pops. Oh, there we go. One more. All right. And, oh, a name tag. That's actually huge because that means we can name tag our guest from the comments that you guys left. All right, we've checked through 2 chests. Now let's just see if we can find any little ruins. There's a ship in the distance, but that's not exactly what we're looking for. So let's see if we can find any ruins, shall we? Once there, we began brushing away the sand to reveal a mix of trash and some treasures until we finally found what we were looking for. Look at that, we got our first sniffer egg. Smells interesting, and I'm about to run out of air. But yay, look at this. Obtain a sniffer egg. We've got our first. Now, I would like to find a second one, so let's just keep looking. There are a few more ruins in this area, so we should be able to hopefully find at least one more. We then spend time checking the neighboring ruins and mostly finding more trash with a few potsherds here and there. All right, I couldn't find a second sniffer egg, so I figured we might as well just go see what's in this ship. But look how perfectly intact this is. I feel like I never find them looking so completed. So this is always a fun time. I'm just gonna leave a door in here. There we go. And oh, a second diamond. Let's go. I'll need a bunch more for armor, but you know, we'll take 2. And I don't want anything from this chest. Let's just go down and see if this buried treasure. Oh no. Is this gonna be one of those blank ones? Oh, that's a bummer. Okay, well, unfortunate. Okay, it's just a map. Well, we may have only found 1 sniffer egg for now, but I'm still perfectly okay with that. I think just at least having 1 to start off our little sniffer sanctuary is great. And I love the fact that we also got the sniffer pottery shard. That's like the best combination of artifacts we could have dug up. All right, we've put away all of our goodies, and I'm thinking that we will... Is there another one? Oh no, these are the ones I had set free. I'm thinking what we'll do is we'll make a little fenced-in perimeter temporarily so that our little sniffer friend can hatch. So we'll just go like so. We'll replace that grass with some moss and get our little friend all hatched up a little bit quicker with some moss. And now that our little sniffer friend is all ready to hatch in their pen, I realized that in the Spruce Village, we still have a ton of diamonds to make some new armor, and we have some new armor trim templates that we can use for some new fancy armor for our time in the Flower Forest biome. And now we're gonna go back to the Spruce Village, grab those diamonds, make some armor, and then we will get ready to go get some more wither skulls. Oh yeah, we definitely have more than enough diamonds for a full set of new fancy armor. And then we're also gonna go and enchant it on the enchanting table here. Now, instead of making a new enchanting table in the Flower Forest Village, I think I'm just gonna keep using the one in the Spruce Village because I like the idea of needing reasons to come back and visit our past villages we've completed for specific things. And we're gonna take all our new armor over to the enchanting table to see what enchants we can get. So we spent the next bit of time rolling the armor and the tools for some good enchants, going down to the Skelly farm for more XP until we were finally happy with the enchants we got. All right, we've got an efficiency of 4 on breaking, 3x, fortune 2 I don't really care too much about, and we've got sharpness 4 on the sword. I couldn't really get any other enchants, and I didn't want that one that had the Bane of Arthropods. But now we've got blast protection, we've got protection, blast protection. So if I'm gonna be hunting more creepers, we at least won't explode as easily, which is good. Now that we've got good armor and we've got a better sword, I think what I want to do is actually go into the nether and start working our way towards getting all of the wither skulls we need to fight the wither. And since this sword does not have any form of looting on it, we are going to take a stop by the museum and first and foremost pick up that iron sword that I had that was extremely OP. Like, I still don't know how I got all of this off of 1 enchanting table roll. Obviously, I added mending, but this is still probably my most OP sword. So even though I just spent the time to get the diamond one enchanted, we're definitely using the iron one. And I was pretty sure there was, aha, a fire res potion in here, and I think we already had one wither skull. I think I put it over in the flower forest village, but I think what I'm gonna try to do is take some redstone and change this splash potion to be 8 minutes, and I don't actually know if I can put this back. Oh good, I can. I never actually have put a splash potion back, so I was a little curious about that. But let's change this to 8 minutes. And I'm gonna grab some netherrack for some pillaring if we need it, and to block off additional ways for withers to get to us. But we will be adding the piglin protection helmet onto our head and leaving our diamond one. And let's go get some wither skulls. Once in the fortress, we started slicing wither skellies, but having no luck, we flew to a new fortress to try our luck out there with looting 3, but the new fortress didn't get us anything either, so we went to a third fortress again to try our luck, and you guessed it, we also had no luck at the third fortress either, so we decided to just go back into the overworld and save the wither skull hunting for a stream day. Alright, we made it back to the familiar cobblestone pillars that I've left, which is pretty good considering how long we have been here looking for wither skulls. Now, while we're waiting for our little sniffer baby to hatch, the next thing I want to do is work on terraforming the area that leads up to where we are going to have the sniffer sanctuary. So we're going to be clearing out the trees, kind of making the landscape a little bit more evened out for a nice little walkway leading up to the side of the mountain where we are going to have the sniffer sanctuary. I just heard a zombie villager, and getting a zombie villager, is there like a pocket here? Getting a zombie villager already on our island is actually a huge help. Ooh, I bet he's in here. Are you in here, buddy? There you are, look at you. Okay, let's put the boat down. Okay. Hi, buddy. You want to take a look at me and get in this boat here? Yes, let's go. Okay, this is so good. Okay, so what we're quickly gonna do, we are going to quickly run back to the spruce village because that's where I have all of our potion supplies, and we are going to transform our little friend here. So let me stick the wings back on, and once again, we are out on a side quest. We'll first start by making some new weakness potions, and we'll make it splash potion, and we'll make the golden apple. And we've got the weakness potion, so let's head back and heal our new little friend. Ooh, look at this! Our little baby Sniffer is here! Hi, buddy. Just give me a second. I need to take a nap before the bad guys come out. Hi, little guy. Okay, you know the drill. We gotta have a name for our little Sniffer friend here. And I was kind of thinking about it because we're in a flower forest. I kind of like the idea of all of the animals and mobs that we have named in this area to be named after flowers and things that fit with the flower forest theme. But enough chatting, let's quickly just yeet that on you and yeet that on you. I'm actually going to quickly light this up just so no other baddies try to come and hurt my friend. Okay, maybe we just block this off. I don't want to have to deal with anything else coming for him. So we'll just grab some stone and we'll block that off so he should be safe. And now we can keep working on the terraforming and clearing. All right, we've got a nice little path started smoothly winding up to where we're going to place the Sniffer Sanctuary. I am going to get some slabs to put in between the different layers so that it's easier to walk up. But this is what we got if I go out into freecam, and I think this looks really good. It's actually really fun to see the levels as it winds up towards the top of this hill. It just is all coming together so nicely, even if it's just literally path blocks. Now, as far as the mountainside, this is where we're going to have the majority of the digging because I want to have the Sniffer Sanctuary be right in here. Then I also want to try my hand at some organics. Now, I'm kind of thinking that I want to try my hand at a pitcher plant, but it will be a lot larger, so I have to figure out where I think a good space for that would be, and I'm kind of thinking that right in here could be really nice. So what we'll probably probably do is kind of make a little bit of a retaining wall, and then we'll just have the pitcher plant be right here. And then once we actually get some sniffer plants from our little sniffer friend down here who has officially grown up, then we can make a small little flower garden of pitcher plants around the extra large organic pitcher plant that I make. And speaking of pitcher plants, we're gonna place the carpet right there, and we've got our first pitcher pod. Yay! And I don't think there's anything else. Okay, perfect. So we'll just place carpet down here, and then we're gonna plant our little pitcher pod. We just need to get some water, and then we can hoe the ground and plant it. And for now, I don't really need an extra large spot for all of the pitcher plants and the torch flowers, so let's just place it right there. Here we go, we're planting the past. And since I'm impatient, I wanna see about growing this up. There we go, look at that. Now this is going to be our inspiration for the design and color choices that we go with. Now I'm thinking we use light green and dark green terracotta for the stem, and then I think we'll use some blue concretes with some purple concretes and a bunch of blue wool and maybe some magenta wool. And I think cyan concrete is more of this bluey purple color, but regardless, we're just gonna start collecting up a bunch of the supplies and colored concrete and wool that we'll need to make this into an organic. Now, step one, we've already got some green terracotta, so that's a great start. And then I'm just gonna take all of this wool and we are going to convert that into different colored dyes, but I'm kind of missing a lot of the options that I was planning to use. Now we'll do some testing. So if I take terracotta, this isn't exactly the color that I'm looking for, so we keep looking at our other options. If we try a piece of lapis for blue, and then we have this dark blue, which actually could work pretty well for some of the colors, but this is pretty much all that we're gonna do for the next little bit. I'm gonna be looking at colors of terracotta and wool mixed with the dye choices that we have in the game until I find all of the colors that I need for my pitcher plant, which means it's time for a material gathering montage. All right, we are ready to start building up our little pitcher plant organic, but I did want to move the sky over to where we're gonna be building. This way we can have the actual flower that we are trying to replicate on a larger scale, and we can always look back for comparison to get the colors right. But so far, this is what we have. We are going to be using this combination of green blocks for the stem, and then these are our blocks to actually build the flower itself. So let's just get started building ourselves our very first organic in the world. I am a little bit nervous, but I think it'll still be a fun time. And And just like that, we've got our oversized pitcher plant all completed, but do I have a story for you guys. If you notice, my tools are no longer mostly diamond. And that is because I was on stream and I decided to fight the Wither, but after dying to the Wither, my game glitched out and I actually lost all of my gear, so all I was left was some empty bundles and some deep slate. So after we finally got out of the cave, we re-geared with unenchanted armor and we went back down, died a few more times, but we finally killed the Wither and we got our nether star finally. But at what cost? I definitely didn't expect to lose all of my stuff in that Wither fight, but we must press on. So if you're curious to see how that entire fight went and everything that I'm talking about, in the description below I will link that VOD so you can see the process of getting this nether star. And unfortunately, in the midst of all the death, I also lost my wings and my ender chest, which had my backup set. So I do have a diamond pickaxe and we are going to quickly go grab some more obsidian once we sleep so that we can at least open up the ender chest again and we can get our other pair of wings back. So our next order of business is to locate a lava pool so we can make a new ender chest and I can get my wings out of there because not having wings is actually so difficult now that I've had them in this world. And I just saw the lava pool over here, so let's collect up obsidian, make a chest, grab our wings, and continue on. All right, I think we have enough of our iron blocks and we've made the beacon. So let's put this guy down somewhere over where we're gonna be working. Part of me kind of wanted to stick it underneath our pitcher plant and then have the beam coming up through the top of it, but I don't know if that's gonna reach over here. So I think we're literally just gonna put it on the top of the little hill here, just out in the open, and we'll just see how this works. All right, and in place of this iron block, I think this is where I put the beacon. Am I right? Yay, let's go. We've got a beacon. Bring a beacon to full power and construct and place a beacon. Yay, and I've got iron, so I think I want haste. We'll do haste 2 so we can be super speedy while we're here. And we wait for the effects to kick in. Haste 2, there we go. Now we can start tearing into this mountain and making our little sniffer entrance. And I'm trying to figure out exactly where I want to dig into it. I feel like if there's a space big enough here where I can maybe make like a little statue, then right in here is probably where we'll start digging out an archway into the mountainside. So let's just say we'll start right here and then dig it out. If I step back, let's make the arch go out to like right here. I feel like that'll be good. And I want to make sure it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 uneven. So we'll move this over by 1. So we'll go to right here. All right, now let's just get digging a little bit faster. Okay, before we start, I'm gonna go and enchant a efficiency diamond shovel real quick because even though we have haste, unenchanted iron is just not gonna do it for this. All right, we've got an efficiency unbreaking shovel. We've got an axe. Does have fortune 3, not the best, but I'll take efficiency and unbreaking. And we have an efficiency 4 pickaxe. So let's get to carving. Oh my gosh, yes, that is so much better. Look how fast we're going. Yes, okay, this is perfect. Let's get a Sniffer sanctuary all set up. All All right, I definitely got carried away with making the Sniffer Sanctuary and actually kind of forgot to record all of the other process, but it is done. And before we walk up there, I did want to mention that I added some more tulips. So if I go back out into freecam, we've got even more tulips being added to the area across the landscape, and I think it's super cute. But if we just make our way up here, I'm slowly, one by one, getting pitcher plants here. Eventually, I want this to be a little pitcher plant garden all around underneath our giant pitcher plant. Now, since we only have one sniffer, it does take a little bit longer to get all the pitcher plant seeds, so that'll be a slowly over time project, but it will look really cute when it's done. But if I come around the corner, here is our entrance to our Sniffer Sanctuary, and I think this is pretty cool. Now, another idea that I had was we can expand this and maybe we can make like side rooms, kind of like little mushroom caves, but we'll put the torch flowers in there and then the pitcher plants in there as well. But this is what we got. We've got our little Sniffer potsherd here with a torch flower in it. We've got our little Sniffer statues, and then as you come inside, it's just got our little Sniffer friend in here. And then I just have a few patches where we can grow some of the pitcher plants or the torch flowers, but we just decorated it with lots of leaves. We decorated it with a spore blossom, the cherry leaves for all of those particles, and we even used some of the cactus flowers and the usual plants that you'd find within the flower forest. And don't forget, we do need a name for this little friend, so make sure to leave that in the comments below. But speaking of names, we are going to go name our little ghast friend. Now, a lot of you, I kept seeing the name Rosie and I kept seeing the name Blossom, so I decided to combine them and we are naming our ghast Rose Blossom. And Rose Blossom is gonna keep her little pink harness because I think it fits really well with the flower forest vibes, but there we go. Everybody meet Rose Blossom. And with Rose Blossom named, a lovely oversized pitcher plant added to our area, and our cute Sniffer Sanctuary, that is going to do it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me as we built the Sniffer Sanctuary, our oversized pitcher plant. I'm actually extremely proud of how this turned out. This is my first organic, my first flower ever, and I am really proud of how it looks. I think it is a really good replica of the plant itself. But thank you guys for hanging out with me. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new, like the video, and comment below a sniffer name. And I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.